Meanwhile, looks like we are underway here in our next grand final. Looks like we've gotten just a bit behind schedule at the moment, so getting things off a little bit faster. This is the women's varsity double grand final. In lane 1 is Oklahoma City. Lane 2, Wisconsin. In lane 3 is Trent. In lane 4, MIT. Lane 5 is Georgetown. Lane 6, Tampa. So at the moment, the boat from Trent, and if you'll recall from yesterday, the boat from Trent, the fastest time in qualifying, and of course winning their semifinal by about 8 seconds over Georgetown. However, if you look at the times from the semifinal, it was actually the boat from Oklahoma City, which is in lane 1. Or I'm sorry, the boat from MIT finished first in their semifinal. I was looking at a different race. Trent with the fastest time in qualifying and in their semifinal. You can see there on their starboard side is MIT in lane 4, but at the moment Trent well out in front here through the first 750 meters of this one. Let's call it Trent, MIT, followed by Georgetown, and then it looked like Oklahoma City over Wisconsin and Tampa in 6th place. But pretty solid racing so far from these doubles. You know, we've seen kind of a theme throughout the day is that these smaller boats tend to really separate as they get out here. But here in this grand final, these 6 boats have had to work their way just to get here in this double race, and we're seeing a pretty competitive race so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we've said before, the double needs to be rowed so sharply too. And I think we're seeing a lot of that reflected here in these women's doubles right now. Look at Wisconsin, what we have right now rowing. Again, very sharply. Wisconsin just rows very, very sharply. I think their blade work is really impeccable here, and it's starting to show. And that pays off a lot later in the race too. So even if you're not strong initially, or you don't fly and die, you don't try to hang on to the lead right away, it does not mean that you can't creep up a little bit later in the race, but that takes a little bit of maturity and a lot of confidence in your race plan that is going to pay off later. So I'm going to keep my eye out on this Wisconsin boat again, but a very formidable opponent here in lane 1 with Oklahoma City. So I think we're going to have a dogfight here and maybe a few places changed by the time we get a little bit later in the race, because right now we have 3 boats across.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like MIT, strong position there for silver, but still tenuous as those boats in lanes 1 and 2 maintain a connection with them. Looks like the rowers from Oklahoma City are starting to try and push out into 3rd on their own. And with 1,000 meters left to go now, it looks like Oklahoma City has started to draw MIT in a little bit here. Unsure if anyone's going to be able to catch Trent, but the race for silver and bronze is still a very exciting one, as we see looks like a blue heron there crossing our screen. The wildlife here at the Cooper River Park making its presence known throughout the day today. Always one of the more irritating obstacles out there for our rowers, because it's really something that nobody can control, the wildlife out on the course. But great shot here from our launch as we switch over to the drone shot, showing you Oklahoma City and Wisconsin and MIT. You can see MIT hanging on to 2nd place at the moment, but Oklahoma City has done a really good job of drawing them back in. Trent there at the top of your screen, way out in front here in this 3rd 500. Oklahoma City with a really impressive 3rd 500 so far. I just want to make a shout out to this Oklahoma City team. Already winners of 3 gold medals so far today. Really impressive race so far. Looking to add a little bit more hardware to the shelf in this women's varsity double grand final. See there a shot of Tampa. Oh.
Uh-oh, well, that did not sound good. We will see if anything happened there. We heard a few sounds there on our screen, but we will pull back and see if anything happened there. I'm not sure if I missed something that you saw, or...
I just heard Wayne Uff, and I think potentially the girls from Tampa may have ran into our launch camera there. And I'm really hoping that everything's okay. It looked like, you know, the girls, after the sounds were made, we still saw faces.
Right, exactly. We didn't see anybody flipped or anything like that. So we will try to circle around and see what we can find out about that. But for now, we will stick with what we can see and keep reporting on that.
In the meantime, Trent here, well on their way to claiming the gold medal here in the women's varsity double final. And a nice shot here of our leaders from Trent. We hope everything is all right at the back there with our referees and our rowers from Tampa. And there you see the rowers from Oklahoma City peeking onto your screen. Now at this angle, it's difficult to say how they stack up to MIT. And there you see it is now Oklahoma City in second place. MIT now trying to hang on to the bronze as they try and manage challenges from both Georgetown and Wisconsin. So Wisconsin and Georgetown, and you see there the rowers from Tampa still very much in this race. So the rowers from Tampa, although they may have had to stop for a little while, are still racing and under the 500-meter mark here.
That's right. So maybe disastrous for their race here, but at least they are okay. Disaster has not struck in any serious injury type of way. As far as we can tell for now, they are still moving. So that is positive to see. But what a race. Again, you know, it's very interesting the last few races. We've just seen one dominant force over and over again, oftentimes coming out of lane 3, not always, but that lane 3, there's something in the water just in that little stretch here. I don't know, Joe, do you have a count on how many of the last lane 3s have been a winner here?
Every single final so far has been won by lane 3. And Trent will make it no different as they approach, and just a really dominant weekend here from this women's varsity double from Trent. They won the time trial by big time. They won their semifinal by big time. And here they are winning the gold medal by big time. And we'll see here if Oklahoma City was able to hang on to that silver medal. And in fact, potentially looks like Wisconsin followed by Georgetown there, or MIT followed by Georgetown there. It was Oklahoma City, so we just kind of missed them there in lane 1.
It's very easy when we're switching camera angles like this to have a crew sneak in very quickly just when we blink or look away for a moment. So again, that's why we always just refer back to the final results here. Again, thank you for bearing with us if we have a place change at the last moment. Do go check regattatiming.com to make sure that you get all of your